This is an Unsolicited Perspectives YouTube exclusive.
All right, Jay. So on the show, we talked about Trump pardoning or commuting the sentence for Harry O, a former drug dealer, which, by the way, hey, look, we both agree that the drug sentences that were being given out in the 80s and 90s were ridiculous. So that was important.
This was not like a regular drug dealer. He was at one time known as the Godfather of South Central. Like, this is not, he was a
He's a drug dealer. But he was still getting,
he was a trafficker. Like, you can't even call him a dealer at that point. It's the next step up.
Well, so, okay, right. So Trump pardoned him, but Biden's been pardoning people. And I know everybody's focusing on him pardoning his son, but he also did another pardon recently that I thought was really, really interesting. So Joe Biden made significant news by pardoning Marcus Garvey. If you don't know who Marcus Garvey is, he was a prominent Black nationalist leader known for his influential role in the civil rights movement. This decision was announced just yesterday as part of a larger clemency initiative that has been including pardons for several other individuals. Who was Marcus Garvey? He was alive from 1887 to 1940. Once again, he was a prominent leader in civil rights and human rights. He advocated for Black empowerment and pride. He founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association and established the Black Star Line, a shipping company aimed at promoting economic independence for people of African descent. Garvey was convicted of mail fraud in 1923, a charge many believe was politically motivated to silence him. After his conviction, he was deported to Jamaica, where he passed away in 1940. Supporters argued that Garvey's conviction was unjust and rooted in systematic racism. They believed that pardoning him would rectify a historical wrong and honor his legacy and fight for civil rights. Biden emphasized justice and second chances, knowing that America is built on redemption. So that's cool. He pardoning former civil rights leaders. That the only thing that Marcus Garvey did that was negative in America's eyes was trying to give Black people self-worth. What did you think about this? This is the reason why I want to talk to you about this. Go ahead.
Now, I listen. His position of Black pride, Black empowerment, Black economic empowerment, wonderful. Was the Black Star Line ever gonna take off and take us back to Africa? It was not. Were people buying tickets to a thing that didn't quite exist? Yes. Okay. It was, again, we talked about this earlier. You gotta bet on yourself. So I get it. But he was both revered and reviled at the time, of course, because he was a Black nationalist. And some people have said that he was the father of Pan-Africanism. I think it's great. I don't know. I don't think that the pardon really does anything. It's posthumously. So obviously Marcus Garvey passed away in 1940. So it's more of like, a symbolic gesture. But, I think I love what Biden's doing. He realizes, okay, I'm done with politics at this point. I'm going to be retired. I'm retiring. I'm old. And I'm not going to let this be a lame duck session. I'm going to do some stuff before I get out of here. Right. And I might as well just do what I want to do, because you know what? Y'all did what y'all wanted to do in this election, so I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm pardoning my son, pardon Marcus Garvey.
I wonder what's more controversial: him pardoning Marcus Garvey or him pardoning his son. I think it's.
I feel like it was probably Marcus Garvey, honestly.
Honestly, I feel like you get a lot of people that say they're tired of America apologizing. Like Obama went during his presidency, went to Japan and essentially said, "Hey, look, I'm sorry we dropped that bomb on you." And people were like, "Why is he apologizing?" Because we dropped two nuclear bombs that devastated a group. Now, granted, the Japanese were not going to surrender in that war, and that may have been our only choice, but we dropped nuclear bombs on them. You can, when you punch somebody in the face, even if they kind of deserve it, you can still be like, "I didn't mean to punch you so hard."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's okay to apologize when you're wrong. And guess what? America has been wrong in a lot of these instances. Martin Luther King was put in jail for fighting for equality. He was a villain, labeled a communist and socialist, which, by the way, I still point to the fact that I don't understand necessarily why those are wrong. And people will be like, "Well, look at the dictators and the authority." I was like, well, those are two different things. One is a authoritative figure that's under the guise of communism, but we also have authoritative government that's under the guise of capitalism. But okay, that you don't want to have that semantic argument with me, fine. But it's okay to apologize to Medgar Evers, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the Black Panther Party, for villainizing people who were fighting for equality. Don't forget that in Little Rock, home of Bill Clinton, a little girl was just trying to go to school. A little girl, a teeny tiny little girl that had to be escorted to school by the National Guard. And you have grown ass adults yelling at this little girl. You shouldn't apologize for that. You shouldn't apologize for being wrong. So this is an apology tour. And I'm cool with it because Marcus Garvey he was set up. He was set up.
He did sell shares to a ship he didn't own. Like he did.
He had an idea.
He had an idea.
He had an idea.
And you know what? That's not ever wrong. And he did imbue the Black community of that time with this incredible sense of pride in their Blackness. And that to me is his ultimate legacy. So I think this part, hey, I'm all for it. It's symbolic, doesn't really do anything, but it's nice that they acknowledge that.
Yeah, it's nice. Maybe they'll do a little bit more because we can definitely not expect it in this next presidency. So maybe well, I mean, Biden got one more day. You got one more day to do something else. You got one more day to do something else. But that's pretty much it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a YouTube exclusive.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.